Welcome to this personal brand audit class. And what this class is all about is it's an opportunity to figure out and to evaluate how your brand works for you, or how you can make your brand work for you. And this is something that a good number of people tend to neglect. A good number of people tend to take for granted. And when they start building brands, especially personal brands, they just let it flow. Like they will say, whatever happens, happens. And they don't take time to pause and evaluate to see how it's going and what is working and what is not working for them. And so during this class, this is what we're going to be doing. And what you can expect at the end of this class is simple. You want to ascertain what your personal brand looks and feels like today. That is very important, because for you to make progress, you need to first of all pause and look at what you've had and what you've built over time till this moment we're speaking. Secondly, you want to figure out what you really want it to be, because when you're able to evaluate what is, you would discover if it is what you want or you want something else. And from this exercise, you get to figure out what you really want your brand to be. Probably you've been going in a direction and you discover that that's not the direction you wanted. So you can take out time to pivot and take that direction you want to take. And then finally, you want to brainstorm ideas to make that happen. So at the end of the class, these are the things that I want you to go back with. These are the things I want you to be thinking about in your head and working towards achieving. So now, before we get into the class proper, there are just some few housekeeping that I want us to observe, because it's really going to go fast, really, really fast. And so we need to keep our attention focused. So for the next 30 to 40 minutes, I want you to get your notebooks and your pens ready, all right? You might hear something, you might have an idea, something might drop in your mind right now, and you just want to write it down so that you don't forget. And then find a quiet place to sit and just go through this exercise, because it's going to require some thinking, it's going to require some action on your part. And so you want your mind to be in a state of rest so you can be efficient. And then what I want for you is to also, like you are already doing, light up the chat box. Let me know what you're thinking as you listen to me. Let me know what your questions are. Let me know what your preoccupations are. Let me know what is happening in your mind as we go forth, because that's what keeps the energy going. And that's what makes me know that I am communicating with you. And finally, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Keep your mind in this space for the next couple of minutes so that we can get the most out of what we are doing right now. So when we talk about personal brand audit, a lot of people always ask these questions: where do we start, right? A lot of people want to find out, where do we start doing this exercise? Because there are a lot of things to look at. There are a lot of things that concern your brand that you need to be looking at. And so the question you're asking yourself, or you should be asking yourself right now, is, I have a brand, I'm building a brand, maybe I'm building a business right now. Things are working for me, or things might not be working for me, but you're talking about auditing my brand. Where do I start doing that? How do I even start doing that? If that's a question that's going through your mind, then you are in the right place, because that's what we are going to be looking at right now. So before I get into the heart of the matter, I want to introduce myself, but I'm not going to do the typical introduction that everybody does, all right? I'm not going to bore your ears with all the stories about what I have or what I don't have, or who I know or who I don't know. I'm not going to bore your ears. And you might be wondering, what gives me the audacity to want to talk to you about this, to want to share this with you. So I want to share with you what motivates me and what gives me the courage to sit up or get up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to share this with ladies, with these amazing entrepreneurs, professionals, because I believe it's something that they need. So we don't necessarily All right. Okay. So this is what I believe. I believe in the power of branding, right? I believe so much in the power of branding. And like I always say during my classes or during my talks, Simon Sinek is one of the people, one of the people that inspired my point of view and my take and my approach to personal branding. And this is what he says: people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do the things you do. Now, we don't make decisions based on features and benefits of products. And that's something I share all the time, that people don't look at the features of your products and then make decisions. They look at what they can get and the transformation they can get from these products to make the decisions. We make decisions based on the emotions, on the connection and the brand promise, right? We make those decisions to buy, to commit, to go somewhere, to share something based on the emotion and the connection we feel with that brand. And so it is the motivation. We buy when we feel the connection, when we feel an experience. We buy when we are captivated and engaged to the point that we trust the feeling that we get, and we take the risk of trusting that person that is selling to us. These are the things that motivate us to buy. And when we talk about connection, engagement, emotion, this has to do with the person that is selling to you. This has to do with the energy that the person brings to the room when they are selling to you. And so branding is all about harnessing this energy so that people can be able to make that connection with you, and then they can make the decision to buy from you. That is one of the principal reasons why I do what I do. I believe so much in the power of this thing we call personal branding. And so when I give myself to it, it is because I see this. It's because I want to see this connection. I want to see people make decisions based on this kind of connection. I want to see people make decisions. I want to see people get into business with an underlying purpose that is strong, an underlying purpose that connects people, that brings the people that they need, the people that they desire. And most importantly, I want people to get into businesses and build brands that are purposeful. This is what I believe. This is what branding is to me, and this is what my business and my work is all about. All right. So I thought I'd share that with you. This is what gives me the courage to come to you, because the underlying purpose why I do this is to empower women to harness the energy, the power in you, to shine and to stand out like the person that you were destined to be. Because I believe so strongly that you have a gift that only you can give to the world. And if you can consciously and consistently harness and channel that gift, the world is going to watch you burn. And that is an amazing thing to me. That's what gives me the courage to come to you at this hour. So that's it about me. Right now, I want to know about you. What drives you? In the comments, I just want you to tell me in the comments, what drives you? Why are you an entrepreneur? Why are you a professional? Why do you even do the things you do? Right? What motivates you? Because if you want to talk about auditing your brand, then there must be something that is driving you. There must be something big in you that is pushing you to do what you're doing, right? So I want to hear in the chat what harnesses or what drives you, what motivates you, what makes you want to be that person, what makes you stay awake at night, right? What keeps you going when all else has failed and you're like, I'm not going to give up. In the comments, I really want to hear from you why you do all of this. All right, ladies. Oh, thank you so much, Patience. Amazing. Amazing, right? Amazing. This is really, really so good. So, all right, ladies, while we wait to hear from you, let's continue, okay? Now, this is something. Let's get into the matter of this. But before we get into the audit, I want to share some things about branding that you might know, and some things about branding that you might not know, you might be hearing for the first time. Like I said, I want to hear in the chat what you're thinking, what's going through your mind as you listen to all of this. The very first thing, there are three very important elements you must take into consideration when it comes to building a strong brand. All right. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, Nasli says, for myself, financial and time freedom for my clients to help more women build a profitable online business and create their own economy. Amazing, amazing. Financial and time freedom. I totally agree with you, Nasli. That's one of the reasons why I left my job, right? Because of time, because of finances and time. I needed to do something that, first of all, was meaningful to me. And then secondly, could give me the freedom I desire and the finances that I really wanted. So amazing, lovely. And to help more women build profitable online businesses. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing, Nasli. So like I was saying, there are three very important elements that comes in play when we're talking about a strong brand, strong personal brand. The very first thing is relevance. All right. When you want to talk about a brand that is relevant, you want to see how important it is to the client. And I love what Nasli said, you know, her brand is to help more women build profitable online businesses and create their own economy. That's powerful. That's what her brand is. That's what it does for the other people. And there are lots of women in the world who need it. All right, for Patience, Patience says, I'm a mom and a professional working and building a wellness brand. I am here today to learn skills to help brand my daughter, who is excelling in her sports. She wrote a book and now she won Miss Shrewsbury pageant. Like you said, I do not want her brand to just flow. I want to strategize it. Amazing, amazing. Congratulations, Patience. You're doing an amazing job. Amazing job. My goodness. That is legacy, right? That is building a legacy. And this is why people will buy, because it just goes beyond just doing it. It's an underlying purpose. A mom who is harnessing, who is nurturing, building her daughter to get to that point where she is destined to be. I mean, this is amazing. I so admire you for that. Yeah, I really do. So there is relevance, how important it is to the client. Secondly, there's differentiation, the degree to which it is unique. That's one thing in the market. We are in a crowded market, like they say, but there is nobody in the market who can do the things you do the way you do it, right? There is nobody, like I said this morning on Instagram or somewhere, there is something that you bring to the market or to the workspace or to the table that no other person can bring, and that is you. And that is your differentiation, and that is what you must harness. And that's why building a personal brand is very important, because nobody can do you. And so the degree to which your brand stands out, unique in the market, which is the you aspect, is what's going to make it a strong brand. And the third thing is your authenticity. How true and genuine are you? All right. You don't want to be another person. You just want to stay true to who you are. These are three very key elements when it comes to building a solid personal brand. When you have these elements in check, then you will realize that your brand is on a steady path to relevance. It's on a steady path to being recognized and acclaimed like a go-to expert or name or company or business or whatever it is that people need per time. Now, I want us to play this game, all right? I want us to play this small game. I just want you to share with me in the chat. Share with me one or two strong brands you know and you consume. Can you share with me one or two strong brands you know and you consume? Personally, I'll talk about Apple. That's a brand that I know and I love and I consume, because to me, it's one of the strongest brands. All right, Amazon, iPhone, that's for Patience. Yeah, it's a very strong brand. Amazon also is a very powerful brand, right? Its positioning is amazing. That's a very strong brand as well. That's one or two strong brands, you know. Amazon, iPhone, means we're in the same line, right? We believe that those brands are really, really strong. Now, while you share the brands, let me tell you what will come, why. All right, Nasli says Samsung phone, Michael Kors handbags. Oh, wow. Samsung phone, I hear you, girl. The cameras are amazing, right? They have very beautiful cameras. You can use them for your lives and stuff. I love the Samsung brand as well. Those are really strong brands we're talking about. Now, why do I ask this question? Because of this. Strong brands have a track record of the following. If you look at these brands you named, you will realize that you will see these same things. These things I mentioned, you will see them as I list them. Strong brands have a track record of quality, right? When you get an app, an iPhone or a MacBook, you're sure of the quality. You get a Samsung phone, you're sure of the quality. A Michael Kors handbag, when you go to Amazon to buy, you are sure of the quality of the services they give, because over time, which brings me to the second thing, they have been consistent, right? They have proven to you that you can trust them because they have good quality, they have consistency, they are dependable, and they are reliable. You can go to them. The fact that you keep buying, and when another one comes out, Samsung E, Galaxy, Samsung Edge, Samsung, you pick it up, iPhone 12, 14, 18, you go and you buy it, a MacBook Pro, MacBook, you buy it. Michael Kors just released a bag. Even though you just bought one yesterday, you're excited to get it when you have the means. It's because they are reliable and they are dependable. Over time, you have seen how trustworthy they are, right? And because of that, they are predictable. You can predict what they're going to put in the market because over time, they have shown you that they are a people that have consistency, and you can predict that, oh, they're going to do something great next time. They have high level of strategic awareness. They have focus, and there is continuous renewal. That's why you always hear of a new version coming out. You always hear of a new something coming out. These are all characteristics of a strong brand. This is what makes a strong brand. This is what makes a brand last and stand out in the market. Now, let's think for a moment, right? Just think about your current or past co-workers. It could be your staff members, it could be your colleagues in the office, it could be somebody you're working with right now, all right? Looking at all these characteristics we just spoke about a strong brand and all it entails, do you see any person, does anybody pop up in your mind who has these kinds of characteristics? Is there somebody that just pops up in your mind when you think about being credible, being reliable, being dependable, being predictable, being trustworthy? Does anybody pop in your mind? As I'm speaking to you, a couple of people come to mind. A couple of people I know I can rely on anytime, any day, right? There should be somebody that comes to your mind based on these characteristics we just shared, these characteristics of a strong brand, all right? Now, these are characteristics that apply to consumer brands. But listen, why am I asking you about your colleagues or your past co-workers and everybody? Because you will realize that these are the same characteristics that apply to the people you work and deal with every day in your life. There are people that you will recommend for some things. There are people will ask you for recommendations, and their names will pop up in their minds immediately because they have proven over time consistently that you can depend on them, you can rely on them, you can trust them to deliver on such a promise. Why is this so, right? Exactly, patience. Exactly. So why is it so? It's simple, because everyone has a brand. This is something that a lot of people don't believe in. I remember one lady asked me, what do you mean build a brand? I don't even have one. I've never even built it. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure I have a brand. And I told her, hey, whether you consciously commit yourself to it or you don't, you have a brand because it is your operative reputation. It is what comes to mind when you are not in the room. That's what Jeff Bezos would say, right? It is what comes to mind when you are not in the room. It is what people will say about you when you step out. It is what people go home with. It is the emotion, the connection, the feeling, what people have taken about you after their interaction with you. It could be with you as a person. It could be with your brand product. It could be with your service. That is what they take home. That is your brand. And so everybody has it. All right? Everybody has a brand, and it is something that you must take into consideration. It is something that you must spend time to develop. It is something that you must spend time to build. If not, people are going to build you. Exactly, patience. It's what comes to mind when you step up of the room. That is it. That is what your brand is. And it's very important for you to spend time building it. So now, the next thing we want to look at now is, I want to help you before we get into the heart of it. We're almost there. We're really, really going fast, and I love it. A lot of people misuse and misinterpret and confuse terms, right? A lot of people confuse terms. And so I want to help you define these terms so that when we get into it, you know what exactly to expect. You know what we are talking about. So the first question is, what is personal branding? Now, you hear a lot of people talking about personal branding. A lot of people talk about their what they think personal branding is. And most of the time, they take the definition of something else, of a personal brand, and they fit there. What is personal branding? All right. It is the practice of establishing. All right. Personal branding is the practice of establishing and promoting yourself, your expertise, and your experience as a brand. All right. It is the practice of, first of all, establishing and then promoting yourself, your experience, and your expertise as a brand. That is what personal branding is. And as such, it is a journey. It is not a one-time thing. It is not a 1 minute thing. It is not a short-term thing. It is a lifetime. Yes, please.
You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, let me check that. Let me check that. Oh, sorry, ladies.
Yeah, sorry. Could you repeat that, Leila, please? The practice, because you broke up there. We didn't quite catch that.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right. Let me take that again. So your personal branding is the process. All right. It is the process of establish, or the practice of establishing and then promoting yourself, your expertise, and your experience as a brand. Personal branding is the practice of establishing and promoting yourself, your expertise, and your experience as a brand. That's what personal branding is. It is a journey. It is a process. It's not a one-time thing. It's something that happens over time. And now, the difference between personal branding and a personal brand is this. A personal brand now is what the world sees of you. It is how you are perceived by the world. It is what people think and feel about you. And so when you've taken time to establish yourself, your expertise, your experience as a brand, then people begin to feel, people begin to experience, and people begin to perceive you in the way that you want them to perceive you. That's what a personal brand is. A personal brand is the end product. Personal branding is the journey. So a lot of people confuse this. When you ask people about this, they give confusing definition. Your personal brand is your promise of value. It is the performance and the reflection of your true identity. When somebody comes in touch with you as a person, your product, it could be your video, it could be your service, it could be an audio, your podcast, it could be whatever it is. That is your promise of value. That is the performance. That is a reflection of who you really are. And so everything about you comes in play when that thing is put out there. And so when you don't discover and harness this, what happens is people get mixed signals, right? You send out mixed signals because it's not an intentional purpose. It's not an intentional journey. It's not an intentional step you're taking. Because when you are building your personal brand, what happens is you begin to get in contact and in touch with what you call your core values. You begin to get in touch with your brand pillars and all of that. And those are the things that guide your communication so that people can really experience who you are. And that is what a personal brand is. And then the third thing I want us to define is, what is a personal brand audit? All right. Personal brand audit is a thorough examination of your current perception in the marketplace. And when we are thoroughly examining it, what we're looking at is we're reviewing its effectiveness. How effective is your brand in the marketplace right now? This will help you determine your strengths, and together with your weaknesses and your inconsistencies too, and then opportunities for improvement and new development. This is what this process helps you. It helps you to get all these things in place so that you can be able to go through this process and be able to harness the opportunities and improve on those things that you need to improve. So that's what a personal brand audit is. So it's the thorough examination of all these things. And that's what we're going to be doing this evening. We're going to be examining all these wonderful aspects about your brand. But before we get into that, this is a question. Why do you need to do a personal brand audit? Right? Why do you need to do a personal brand audit? And you might find yourself in one of these categories. If one of them speaks to you, please Let me know in the chat if it's 1, if it's 2, if it's 3, 4. You might need to do a personal brand audit because 1, you may find it so hard to be yourself, right? It's like today you want to speak like this, and then tomorrow you realize that you're comfortable speaking like this, and tomorrow you're like, oh, I think this personality fits me most, and tomorrow it's like you just have this difficulty remaining true to who you are. You might need to audit it to find out what the perception is, and then what you really are, so you can begin to harness it. Secondly, you might have a new business. You might be starting a new business, and you want to build a business with a heart. All right, you want to include some heart in your business, and so you want to take time to evaluate, to make sure that you are in a place where you are going to be able to communicate your true self in your business or through your business. Or you might be considering rebranding your business, right? Oh, awesome. 2 and 5, Natasha. Oh, that's great. Oh, wow. Right. Oh, my God. Oh, I keep saying Natasha. And it's even Natasha Solutions. Sorry, I keep mixing that up. Oh, all right. Oh, that's another very important reason why you should do a brand audit. And it is advised that you should do that at least twice a year. At least twice a year. If you want to hire somebody to do it for you, you get somebody to do it for you. But if you want to do it like we're doing it right now, I'm just going to show you the process so you can do it yourself. You don't need to hire somebody. Then you need to get to doing this. Now, when you know why you need a brand audit, I want to share with you how we audit brands. Usually, when it comes to a personal brand, we have 4 very important aspects of your brand that we look at when we talk about the brand auditing process. The very first thing is you, which is the pivotal, it is a key part of your personal brand, right? You are the heart of your brand. You are the heart and the soul of your brand. And so when you are not in sync, in synergy and aligned with yourself, your brand will reflect that. The next thing is your assets. What are those things that you have? What are those skills, those gifts, those things that you possess that you want to change the world with? Are you using them? Do you master them enough? Or do you need something? What are they? You need to evaluate that. The next thing is your messaging, right? You want to look at your communication. How are you communicating? How are you promoting this to the world? How are you sharing it? How are people receiving you? What is the tone? What is the voice? Does it reflect you? Does it reflect what you want to share? The fourth thing is your impact. How much impact do you have? Are you influencing anybody? Are you transforming anybody? What kind of impact is that? Is it something that you want to go on with, or is something that you want to change? These are the different aspects we look at when we are doing a personal brand audit, all right? And for this class, I want us to focus on you, because you are the key part, right? You are the heart of your brand. You are the centerpiece of your brand. And when you come together, the entire brand will come together. And so I want us to focus on you, because once we figure this out, the other aspects are just going to flow from it. And so I want you to be asking yourself these questions. What makes me stand out from my peers? This is one of the questions that a lot of people, when they see it, they jump over it. Not because they know it, but because they are so scared to want to dig deep. They are so scared to want to find out those things that really make them different, right? They're so scared to get into the heart of it. They don't want to go inside. They don't want that moment of coming face to face with themselves. And so I want you to ask that question. And if you have your notebook, I want you to jot this down. And I just want you to write whatever comes to your mind right now. What makes you stand out from your peers? What do your peers say is different about you that they will come to you for over and over and over? Right? A lot of people come to me because I'm very encouraging. They will tell me each time they come to me and they leave my presence, they feel so empowered and feel like they can get anything done. They feel like they can get anything done, or if they need something, if they ask me, I'm going to give them an answer. They know they can get that from me. And I know it because I have a very unique eye for details. That's what makes me different from every other person who does personal branding. Honestly, I'm not some super branding woman. No, I just have an eye for detail. I have an eye for detail. I can pick what is going on and what is wrong and how we can fix it in no time. That's what really makes me different from many people. When you speak, I hear the voice under. I hear the unsaid. I hear the unspoken. I see what is not seen with the optical eye. That's what makes me different. And that's what I harness in my job. When I listen to you, I listen to you with an ear that is looking to hear what you're not saying audibly so that I can help you to find a solution. What makes you stand out from your peers? If you want to share with us, please write it in the comments. I'll really like to see it. All right. The next thing is, what are your core values? If you don't stand for something, honestly, you will fall for everything and nothing. And so you must have core values that drive you. So that when you make decisions, people know these decisions are based on core values you strongly believe in. So people can connect you to those values. There are some people who are so compassionate. And when you want to think of anything that is not like, the moment you see it, you say, no, it could only come from her. This is a reflection of who she is. She can only be the one that can pose such an act. What are your core values? What drives you? Integrity. Some people it's integrity, right? All right. Nadine says she's an encourager and an empowerer. That is it. That is it. You figure it out. That is so good, Nadine. When you know this, you're able to present yourself to people. You're able to say yes and no. You're able to choose what you want to choose, right? There are some values I don't espouse. So when you bring me work or you bring me a service or you bring me an event or an opportunity, the moment it's not found within these values, I tell you no. No, because it is not what I espouse. And it makes it easy because it's your compass. Who makes up your support system? Because the kind of people you surround yourself with will determine the kind of person you are. Are you surrounded by naysayers? People who discourage you, people who spend their time saying it's not possible, it can't work. Who is your support system? Because it's a reflection of where you want to go. What's your superpower? The thing that you do better than anyone else. I already shared mine. Who needs to know you so you can reach your goals? Do you know that person that if you get in contact with right now, you're going to achieve something you're seeking? Do you know them? Where are they? How can you find them? Can you reach them? Have you tried? What's your ultimate career or business goal? At the end of the day, what are you seeking? Right? At the end of the day, what are you seeking? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to see happen with you? After all of this has been done, what do you want to see? Do you want to leave a legacy? Do you want to leave the world a better place? What brings you joy? What I'm doing right now is what brings me joy. This to me, it's way beyond everything. The satisfaction and the fulfillment of knowing somebody will go home with something brings me joy. And so I can do this over and over and over and over. What brings you joy? What's your favorite way to communicate? These are some of the questions that you need to ask yourself about yourself, right? You need to sit down and ask yourself these questions. And let me tell you something. When you begin to dig deep and genuinely seek answers to these questions, you realize that the answers were not as shallow as you thought they would be. You realize that the answers are not as easy as you thought they would be. Because you're no longer depending on what your mind or what you hear people say or what you feel like, but you're really trying to get in sync with your inner person, your inner being, so you can find that harmony between your spirit, soul, and your person and your body. And so these are important questions to ask yourself. And while you ask yourself these questions, I hope you've taken a screenshot of these so you can ask yourself these on the later basis. You know, we cannot only depend on what you're asking yourself, right? We cannot just depend on what you think about yourself. Like I said, you remember I told you your personal brand is the perception people have of you. It's what people say about you when you are not in the room, right? And so what I want you to do is just doing branding introspectively is very important, but you need to get feedback from other people because your brand is what is held in the hearts and minds of those who know you. This is what I want us to do. I want us to play this game, right? And I really want you ladies to do this because it's really going to be it's going to do something. Two things. It's going to encourage you, and it's going to encourage you. Two things. I don't want it to go the other way. It's going to really encourage you. I do this a lot in my facilitation, my training workshops, and I really have fun with the ladies when they come with their feedback. So I want you to do this. What I want you to do is to reach out to as many people as you can think, people who know you. And I want you to ask them what they think about your brand, what they perceive about you right now. And it's supposed to be a 360 feedback, right? So I want you to ask from friends, from colleagues, from contacts, people who know you. People who know you. I want you to ask them, and I want you to ask them this question. I want you to send this to them. I want you to say, hello, as I prepare for a new business opportunity or a career or whatever it is that you're working on. I am seeking input on how others experience me through our interactions. Tell me in 5 words what you think are my strengths. Please be candid so that I can learn about the impact I have on others. Thank you in advance for your time. I want you to send that text message to as many people as you can think of. It's not, you don't have a limit. You can send to as many as you know. Just type a WhatsApp message right now and just scroll through your list and just forward to all of them. Just forward and forward and forward. And don't think twice about it. If the person knows you, send it to the person. The person knows you, send it to them. Ask them this question. Many of them will see it right now as you send. Some probably will see it later on, and they are going to answer. And like you said, you're telling them to be candid with you, to be sincere with you, right? You want them to be sincere so that you can get appropriate feedback from them. So that the feedback they are going to give you is going to be honest. If you know somebody who is going to be reading out. If you know anybody who is afraid to give you honest feedback, please don't send to that person. All right? Don't send to that person because you know the feedback is not going to be honest. Don't send to them. Send to the person you know is going to be honest with you and is going to share feedback that you will use. So while you share that feedback, or while you expect their feedback, because you're going to use their feedback, while you expect this feedback, there's another thing I want us to do. And this is the final phase of it all, but it's also part of what is going to help you figure out your brand. Remember, we're trying to get feedback from people who know you, feedback about you from the outside world, so you can compare with what you know about yourself. If you can get that done, then you must have done something really, really good for your brand. So now, while you wait for the response from those people, did you copy the text, or should I bring it again? Should I bring it on so you're able to copy? Did you copy it? Let me see. Okay, let me put okay, all right. All right, let me put it in the chat for you, please. Let me do that. All right, so let me just get the text. I have the text written. I'll just get it so you ladies can. I have the text for you ladies, so I'm just going to get it so you can share it. You want to open? Okay, this is taking long. Let me go back to you. Okay, I think I can get it from here. All right, so you paste. Did I paste it? I think I did. Yep, I copied it. Oh, okay. The screen is not responding. So all right, let me just give it a minute. Copy, paste. Enter. All right, so that's the text in the chat. So you can copy it and then send it out. You can copy it and send it out. All right. You're welcome, Nadine. You're welcome. Hi, Maunyo. I hope I'm not destroying your name. Happy to meet you. Happy to meet you. So glad you could make it. All right. Oh, great. Okay. So while you're expecting your answers, I want you to, this is a question I want to ask you. How many of you have ever Googled yourself? Hey, Ghana in the house. Yeah. Welcome, 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 my dear. Welcome. How many of you have ever Googled yourself? Indicate in the chat if you've ever Googled yourself. Have you ever had the courage to indicate? Oh, Marina didn't say, yeah, I have. Okay, you have. Yeah, you Googled yourself. All right. You know what that is called? That is called ego surfing, right? It's called ego surfing. Oh, great. Oh, you all have Googled yourself. That's amazing. All right. Okay. So, how many of you have ever Googled someone else? How many of you have ever Googled someone else? Oh, my patience, your daughter Googled you. That's amazing. All right. Okay, Maria, you've Googled someone else. Violet, yes. Nadine, yes. You've Googled someone else. All right. Okay. So this is like stalking, right? It's like you're stalking someone. All right. Oh, I know. Oh, yes. That's right. That's great. It's like you're stalking people, right? You hear of somebody, you're like, oh, let me find out who they are. You go to Google and you're, what are they up to right now? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's like you're stalking. But you know, this is the thing. This is what I want you people to have at the back of your mind. If you are Googling other people, then guess what? Other people are Googling you as well. There's somebody somewhere who spends time going on Google to find out what's happening with you, to find out if you did something, or they just heard about you and they're like, oh, who is she? I've never heard of this name. The question is, what do they learn about you and what opinions do they form about you when they Google and the results are before them? What opinion do they form about you and what do they see on Google that can inform them about who you are? Right? Because honestly, in the world where we are and the way things are going, Google and LinkedIn and all of that and social media is a new normal. People don't want to bother about getting to know you anymore. They don't want to see you anymore. They don't want to, coming to face-to-face networking meetings is gradually, it's like coming to a standstill because of the context in which the world is right now. And so everything is about social, everything is about Google, everything is about LinkedIn, everything is about Facebook, everything is about Instagram, right? Everything is online. That is where people get to know you. And so while you are waiting for people who know you in person to give you feedback, there are other people who have impressions about you as an entrepreneur, as a career person, as whoever you want them to know you for, online, based on the information that they find about you online. All right? And so you must be very careful what kind of information is found online concerning you, which brings me to the next thing. When people Google you, they are evaluating you based on 5 elements. Each time someone goes on Google and is looking for information about you, they are looking at these 5 things. 1, volume. 2, relevance. 3, purity. 4, diversity. And 5, validation. These are the 5 things people look out for when they go online and they type your name in a search bar or a search engine anywhere. These are the things they are looking for because these are the things that are going to inform them about you and your brand. So this is what I'm going to give you. I want to share with you a free tool, all right? that is going to help you to find out how you show up online based on these 5 elements. The tool is going to inform you on how people perceive you right now based on the volume, the relevance, the purity, the diversity, and the validation information you have out there. And so I'm going to send you to a tool called onlineidcalculator.com. Let me put that in the chat. onlineidcalculator.com. All right. Oh, what happened to my mouse? It went elsewhere. Oh, it's coming, ladies. My mouse is taking some time to clear, but it's onlineidcalculator, one word.com. I want you to go to that address and I want you to follow the different steps and prompts they're going to give you. And then you can use it to get the result you want. All right. So quickly, that's it. So quickly, I want to explain these things to you so that when you get the information, you can know what it's all about. And then I will be wrapping this up. So first thing, when you go and they Google you, volume and relevance refers to these things. It refers to the total number of responses that they will find. Are you occupying the first 3 pages of the Google page? That's it. That's about volume. Relevance, consistency with expertise, consistency with objective, blog or website featured, exude personal brand. These are the different criteria they will use to evaluate your volume and your relevance online. All right. Volume is important because people think that as much as there's much information about you online, it shows, there must be value here. This person must be saying something. So people should pay attention. And so they will want to find out what you're saying so much that people are consuming. All right. And relevance says to the person that you are who you are and you are who they need you to be. All right. You are who you say you are and you're who they need you to be. So relevance is very important. And then diversity is like, what kind of content do you have? Traditional content, bios, articles, websites, videos, multimedia, headshots, real-time content. Are you on Twitter? Diversity, they will evaluate if you are in so many places and you're putting out different kinds of content. That's the second one. The third one, purity, which is a good thing from Africa, but in other places it's a struggle, right? Because first of all, when you go online nowadays, a lot of people have common names. You might have a name that so many people have. And so when they go online, they click on your name, a whole lot of names appear before yours ever shows up. That's because your name is not original, all right? Your name is, let me not say not original, but your name is common. And so you need to do something about that to make sure that you are identified and distinguished from the others. So when you Google, other people don't show up and you don't show up. For example, when I Google my name, I have my name combination is really particular. So when I Google my name, what happens is there was just one person that kept coming up all the time. There's this woman they call Leila King. She's an American, I mean a powerful woman. When I put my name out there, even though I put my name, she still shows up on that. I'm like, my goodness, this lady is so powerful. Even though I'm putting my name, hers still pops up all the time. Unfortunately, she passed away this year, but she's still very present. But I'm happy because the last time I Googled myself, all first 3 pages, I occupied them. That was an indication that at least in terms of relevance and content and all of that, I'm kind of positioning and getting there, which is something you need to check. Common nicknames, common acronyms, your digital footprint, they are going to give you this information as well. Validation, feedback. What are people saying about you? Does it show up on Google when people search you? Does it show up? If it doesn't, then you need to work on your your SEO, your all those things so that you can show up. Because honestly, validation is one of those things that whether people like it or not, it is what people go to now. Have you ever gone to somebody's page to buy something and you go to the comments first to see what every other person is saying about it? What are they saying? Did they buy? Did they like it? How many 5 stars? Are people genuinely in? Those people who are criticized, are you? We do that all the time when we go to buy. Why? Because we want to see validation. We want to see if this thing is valid. And so when the more people come up to validate you and say, you are great, you're good, you're doing a wonderful job, I attest to what she's doing, I attest to this, you are ranked and you're positioned as somebody they can go to. And so that is the steps I want you to follow. One, evaluate. That's you go to onlineid.com, look at the results you get, evaluate what these results say. Two, diagnose the problem. Are you short on relevance? Are you short on validation? Are you short on purity? Where do you come short? The third part, plan. What do you want to do right now? You know where you're running short. What do you want to do about it, right? The next thing, implement. When you plan, what do you want to do? How do you make it right? You might want to work with a coach. You might want to work with somebody, something like that. Then measure. This is what I found. This is what I've done. Where am I right now? These are 5 very important steps you need to work on. Why? Because your brand appears in everything you do. Whatever it is that you do, your brand appears there. And so be it online, be it with your relationship with your friends, be it in your outings, your social gatherings, your church groups, whatever you do, your brand appears there. And you want to make sure that you are consistent and you're communicating effectively. So, oh, ladies, I've been rushing so much. Oh, la, la. Internet has dealt with me today. I've been rushing so much. I don't know if you have any questions, but I don't want to take your time, right? I have gone way beyond and I don't want to keep you all too long again. So I'm just going to ask you, what have you found out about your brand through these exercises? I'll be so glad to learn what your friends say about you, what your contacts say about you. I'll be so happy if you can leave me a mail or a message or anything and just tell me, this is what people think about me. This is what people are saying about me. People perceive me this way. And honestly, I didn't know it. You know, I'll be so glad to get that feedback. I'd have loved for us to get the feedback here, but this is something I do in a 4-6 hours facilitation workshop. We do this in 6 hours to get this result. So we don't really have the time. But whatever it is that you found out about yourself, I want you to share with us. You can send us an email, whatever it is you found through this exercise. And this is what I am going to do. Because of time, and I don't want to keep you, I am going to give you, I said, if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you a gift, right? So this is my gift to you. I want to share with you, if I can see that page, I want to share with you this, the personal brand health check worksheet, right? Everything I spoke to you about is inside, especially the other aspects we did not talk about. I want you to take this ebook and I want you to carry out an audit of your own brand yourself. I want you to take the time to follow it and go through it. It's a 12-page document. Take your time, go through the different steps and get the results for yourself. And let's see this happen for you and make sure that your brand is what, oh, a feedback I just received. One of your strengths is to speak, to motivate, influence others. You're able to communicate with others by encouraging them to believe in themselves. That's powerful, patience. That's powerful. I mean, there is another tool I would have shared with you, but because of time, I think I'm going to do another class just to share the second tool with you, because that is the most effective tool you can use to do a 360 feedback. And you'll be shocked at what people will say about you. People love you so much you don't even know it until you begin to do these exercises. So I'm going to share that. I think I'm going to share it with you when I send you out this ebook. I will send you this ebook and you are going to use it. And then I'm going to send you also the link to the replay to this. I'm going to edit. And then I'm going to send you all the other amazing things I had in store for you, because I don't want to keep you longer. I really want to let you go because I also have another class coming up. So I really need to go and prepare for that. All right, ladies. Is that a yes or a yes? So let me know in the chat. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, ladies, for showing up. Oh, yes, that's a yes. All right, ladies. So I'm just going to share that with you. All right. Amazing. All right. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all the ladies. All right.
Thank you very much. It was such an awesome session despite the connection.
I know. Thank you so much for showing up, ladies. I really appreciate
so
it.
many nuggets.
I really appreciate your showing up. It's really been an amazing time. And
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Violet. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. I'm just happy that you ladies got something out of this.
Thank you for sharing.
All right, ladies, I have to go. I have a
Thank you. Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, ladies.